You know, the toughest thing about social media is sometimes you can start a project and it can take a life of its own. What caught my attention this week was hashtags. A few weeks ago, McDonald's had a problem with one of its hashtags, the MacD stories. Now, this was meant to share with the Twitterverse stories of farmers using, creating the food and products that pretty much end up in the McDonald's restaurant. After one or two tweets, the hashtag took a life of its own, pretty much in a negative way for McDonald's, to be honest. But McDonald's isn't the only one that's ran into those sort of problems before. RBS, a bank based out of Europe, ran into a problem with its hashtag. Sponsoring the Six Nations games, particularly between England and Wales, RBS was trying to have customers or people, Twitterverse should say, follow along on RBS Six Nations. Well, after a few tweets, people decided that they wanted to follow the games as Six Nations or through another different tag. So does that mean hashtags are not helpful? Certainly not. I think the best way that hashtags have become helpful is when the context of the conversation is understood. And that context seems to be showing up much better when there's some sort of medium that shows how the conversation is going. ESPN has an excellent example. On the TV show NFL 32, there's a hashtag that's shown in the corner. This lets a lot of the fans who follow their favorite player be able to follow along with the conversation while it's on the air. So hashtags are useful, very useful for a conversation. Sometimes it takes a number of times to make that conversation work, but ultimately, if you're going to use a hashtag, definitely keep doing what you need to use it in such a way where you can lead that conversation. It may take a couple of tries, it may take a little bit of a forced effort, but eventually you'll get that message across that this is supposed to be for a conversation.